Hey guys, and welcome back to the Pokemon Fab Five. I am your host, Moonlightswami, and today the Colorado Rapidash are back, and we are bringing you guys our team builder for week number 3, as we will be taking on the ChoiceSpecs and the Orlando Magikarp. His team is on your screen to the right, as you can see right below the enemy. He has a really good team. It's Entei, it's Dragonite, it's Drifblim, it's Chinchino, it's Claydol, Ninetales, Venusaur, Mega Gyarados, Manectric, Jirachi, and Florges. So he has the Dragon, Fairy, Steel trio of Dragonite, Jirachi, and Florges. He has the Fire, Water, Grass in Entei, Venusaur, and Mega Gyarados. He has Defog on the Drifblim, on the Claydol, on the Florges, on the Dragonite, and Rapid Spin on the Claydol. And his two Rock Setters are Claydol and Jirachi. He has priority on the Entei, on the Dragonite. He also has a tremendous amount of speed that he can access, as his team is one of the fastest that we will be facing this season. So far, out of the 3 teams that we have faced, I didn't do anything for Kyle's team, but looking at this squad, the slowest Pokemon on his team is Claydol at base, and Florges at base 75 speed. That is really, really fast. They max out at 115 with the Chinchino, but Mega Gyarados and Dragonite both, who are in that 80-81 speed tier, gain access to Dragon Dance. They can accelerate that really quickly. Obviously, with Choice Scarfs, he has a lot of speed potential on his team, and Drifblim also gets Unburden, which doubles its speed after its item is consumed. Luckily for us, he does not seem to have a team that benefits from terrain. Otherwise, that would be probably a lot more common. That's why Hawlucha is such a good Pokemon. But this is taking a look at his team. So far on the season, he has been dominant. Looking at it, the Orlando Magikarps are 2-0 with a +8 differential, and they are in our division. We are 2-0 with a +6 differential. A 4-0 victory against Jerry in week number 1. And a 2-0 victory over Kyle A in week number 2. So here we are back in week number 3. Taking a look at his team, a few things jump out. So he resists a lot of typing pretty well. He has good resist to normal, to fire, to electric, to grass. He has 6 resists to grass, which is awesome. He has 4 resists or 5 resists or immunities to fighting. Poison really doesn't touch him all that well either. Actually, just have to change that because I had the wrong. There we go. Ground, he has 4 Pokemon that are weak to it and 3 that are immune. That's a very interesting combination. No resists, obviously. He's weak to rock. 4 Pokemon are weak to rock. 3 are weak to ghost. He does have 2 resist or immunities. 3 are weak to dark with same deal. Only Florges is weak to steel. And only 2 of his Pokemon are weak to Fairy. That is the Dragonite and that is the Mega Gyarados, which are, in my opinion, the 2 biggest threats on his team. So, overall, encompassing all of that information, he has a really good team, but it doesn't handle us extremely well. So, let's just break that down really quickly. Our primary typings that we like to use, obviously, are Water, Fire, Fighting, which he handles all 3 of those pretty well. He has 3 water immunities, 3 water resist, 3 water weaknesses. But we also have the Ghost, we have the Fairy, we have Rock as capability on pretty much anything. We have Ground types that can cause havoc. And we also have Pokemon like Licky who can really run anything. Overall, our team does a lot of good. For those of you who don't remember our team, I'll just read it off. We are Latios, Mega Aggron, Mimikyu, Crocodile, Infernape, Licky, Feraligatr, Venomoth, Electabuzz, Gourgeist, and Rotom Spin, which is the Rotom Fan. So, just taking a look at his team, here are a few different cores that he could go with. He could be very protective of that Dragonite against us, and go with Claydol, go with Dragonite, go with Florges, get those dual defog users, because we do have Mega Aggron, Infernape, and Crocodile, all who can gain access to Stealth Rocks. That's going to be really important this week. He could run Jirachi, which could be Choice Band, Choice Scarf, Leftovers with Bulk. That thing with Choice Scarf is just terrifying because Ironhead is a 60% chance to flinch, and it ruins your day very quickly. Entei with Sacred Fire, usually is a Choice Banded type of set. I don't know how impactful Entei is against us. Taking a look at his team that he's used so far this season, he did bring Entei both weeks, which is something to keep in mind. He's brought Florges both weeks, he's brought Manectric both weeks, Dragonite both weeks, Entei both weeks, Jirachi once, Cinccino once, Mega Gyarados once, and Claydol once. So essentially he has relied a lot on Dragonite, and I mean, he has a very good team in general, so, you know, there's different things he can use. We have to be careful of the extreme speed option from both Choice Banded Entei and from the Dragonite, if it wants to be banded, if it wants to be Dragon Dance setup. Either way, it's also a very good Z move user with with Flyinium Z. Very powerful. Gyarados obviously gets Intimidate before it Mega Evolves, and Mold Breaker is a very important ability to remember on the back end because, of course, Mold Breaker will go through Disguise, which is terrifying. If we had Rotom Heat, we would be in deep trouble because it could Earthquake us through our Levitate, but because we have Rotom Fan, which is already in the air because of its flying typing, we are fine. Lightning Rod on Manectric is a good counter to the electric type attacks of Rotom. That could really damage the Mega Gyarados and the Drifblim and even impact the Dragonite pretty well. But we have a lot of different options, and I guess I'll start reading off what we're going to be doing here. So let's go on to the first team builder page. We start things off with this Mimikyu set, which is really cool. It is Swords Dance, Shadow Claw, Shadow Sneak, and Play Rough. So taking a look at the way that his team is constructed, we do have to be careful that if the Entei is a support Entei, that it could burn us. And that's just what we have to be careful of. But this Mimikyu, with its disguise, can power through Dragonite, it can power through Drifblim, it can power through Jirachi, it can do a ton of damage to Florges. Basically, the only thing that I would really be terrified of is a +1 Mega Gyarados and Entei. That's really it. I mean, outside of that, I guess Sleep Powder from Venusaur and the Sun could be a bit of an issue for us, but with Life Orb, this thing does a ton of damage. Set up a Swords Dance, go to work. 244 speed EVs puts us at 147 with Adamant. I don't remember exactly what that was for. I think it was to guarantee we outspeed Mega Gyarados. I think that's what that was meant to be, because we are Adamant, so we're going to have more attack power. Looking at the speed tiers on his team, really the only thing in that 95 speed tier, there is no. It's 100 and then it goes down to 81. So because we can't outspeed in the base 100 tier at all, we're going to outspeed that base 81 tier, which means we can also outspeed Venusaur outside of Sun and Drifblim before it gets its Unburden boost, but we also have Shadow Sneak, so we can help deal with that. So that's really important. Mimikyu seems like a really good first Pokemon to slap on the team and get us a good look at what we can do. It is more of a late game sweeper this week than anything. We did lead with it against Jerry, but this is a different type of Mimikyu for us. Next up, we add on Infernape. It is a Choice Scarf variant of Infernape with 108 speed. Obviously, it is a Jolly Nature, so plus speed minus special attack. We hit 173 with 236 speed EVs. That is to outspeed Manectric. Choice Scarf Manectric. That is the goal. Flare Blitz, Close Combat, U-Turn, and Rock Slide. So the Rock Slide is obviously for the Drifblim. It is obviously for the Ninetales. It is for the Dragonite. It is for the Entei. You know, this is obviously we can close combat the Entei if need be, but these are the types of things that we're using it for. The Flare Blitz does a ton to Jirachi, does a ton to Florges, does a ton to Cinccino and Claydol, and obviously Venusaur. The U-Turn is for Pivot, and the Close Combat is just a very powerful stab move that we can use on that Mega Gyarados. Basically, this coverage is beautiful, and we are rocking Blaze instead of Iron Fist because if we end up getting low in terms of HP, our Flare Blitz will end up doing more. That's really it. The Iron Fist has no bearing on us this week because we are not running a punching type attack. So let me just update the... There we go. All right. Next up, we have our Licky Licky. And we've brought Licky Licky every week so far this season, and it, in my opinion, has been our MVP. I think it's been so good. It's been a cleric the first 2 weeks, but we don't need it for that this time around. For this, we have Earthquake, Ice Punch, Knock Off, and Body Slam, rocking the Assault Vest, 244 HP, 252 attack with an adamant nature. And with that Assault Vest, and most important, its ability, Cloud 9. So, the Assault Vest is really important for dealing with the Ninetales, dealing with the Venusaur, dealing with the Florges. I guess the Claydol, if it's a special variant, which it could be. The Manectric as well. So, Licky Licky is our special defense wall. It doesn't, obviously, it doesn't have a means of recovery, so we do have to be a little bit careful with it. But it can take so many hits. It can dish out a ton of damage with Earthquake to the Entei, to the Ninetales, to the Manectric, and to the Jirachi. Ice Punch, obviously, is for the Dragonite. Let's do that calc right quick, okay? So let's just import this set into the calculator. All right. Licky Licky. And let's take a look against a Dragonite. So Flyinium Z Dragonite obviously can do a ton of damage to us. If it is Z-Fly, it can almost OHKO us, which is unreal. But let's say this thing is down any amount of health. Let's say it is leftovers, and it's been impacted by Stealth Rock. So 75%. Ice Punch OHKOs it. Basically, any damage, Ice Punch will take care of this thing. Obviously, Body Slam is really important because it gives us the opportunity to paralyze anything. It's such a cool tech to be able to paralyze different Pokemon. You can't paralyze an electric type, though. I don't think with it. That's the only thing. I'm pretty sure you can paralyze a ground type, but you can't paralyze an electric type. But Knockoff, obviously, is good for the Drifblim. It's good for clearing items in general. If there's a Choice Scarf Jirachi and we predict the switch-in, then we can knock that off. It's just a good set in general. Body Slam will be good against Mega Gyarados, but we can become setup fodder a little quickly, so we do have to be careful with that. But that's the purpose of this Licky Licky set. So let's move on now that we can just add Licky Licky to the layout. We have our Latios. So Latios is a Pokemon that's going to be pretty much our pivot sweeper throughout this entire game. Essentially what's going to happen is when we have good situations, we're going to switch into Latios and we're going to pick up KOs with it. It is rocking Life Orb with a timid nature, so 222 speed, hits that 173 mark, again to outspeed Manectric, this time without a Choice Scarf, with Psyshock, Draco Meteor, Thunderbolt, and Shadow Ball. So Draco, obviously will do a ton to Dragonite. Whoops. Let's, I'm not even going to copy it in. We'll just go from here, I guess. Nah, I probably should. Let's just do that. I don't use this computer normally for my calcs because I'm recording with it, so I'm just doing this for show more than anything. Latios, custom set. I mean, this has a legitimate chance to KO no bulk Dragonite. Just Draco straight up. That's really powerful. If it's not at max HP, this thing's going to take a ton of damage from pretty much any of our attacks. Shadow Ball is great for the Drifblim. It is, well, technically Thunderbolt would be better for the Drifblim, but it's great for the Claydol, which we can't hit really hard otherwise. It hits the Jirachi really hard. Psyshock does a ton to Florges, more than you would expect. Even if it's max defense, it still does a ton. And if it's below half, it's going to be KO'd. Dropping Dracos on anything else does a lot. And Thunderbolt to the Mega Gyarados was the reason that we're rocking that specifically. Obviously, I think... whoops. Gyarados. Obviously, if we are dealing with a Mega Gyarados, we probably want to be dropping a Draco on it. But the damage difference, if we're in a good enough range, 62 to 74% is a lot of damage. So if we don't want to drop our special attack by 2 stages, this will do a ton to it. This is why we are rocking Thunderbolt specifically. But taking a look at Florges, max defense Florges. the cleric version. 44 to 52%. It's not a ton, but that's max HP, max defense Florges. That's pretty good damage for a special attacker. Obviously, it's hitting on the physical side, but that's still a pretty good amount of damage. This thing is just stupidly bulky. Let's see if it's a calm mindset. I guess it wouldn't matter. Okay, so, but that's the point. We can deal a ton of damage to a ton of different things, and Latios obviously resists some of the major stab points, whether it be fire, whether it be electric type attacks, whether it be grass, whether it even be water. So, and it's immune to ground. So, you know, there's different options. This is why we brought Latios onto the team to begin with, to synergize with Mega Aggron because of these typings. Next up, we are going to add our Mega Aggron. So, obviously, it's going to have the sturdy ability before it comes in. It is rocking Heavy Slam, Earthquake, Stealth Rock, and Roar. Really, really cool set. The Heavy Slam, Okos, every time. Max HP, max defense Florges. It also guarantees a 2-hit KO with Earthquake on Jirachi. Guaranteed. That's really powerful. Stealth Rock, like we said, extremely important. And Roar is to help stop those setup sweepers because both of them are on the physical side. Whether it be Mega Gyarados, whether it be Dragonite, they are physical sweepers. And we can rotate them out because we know we can live hits. Obviously, the Dragonite could do more damage with a Z move against us, but with Filter, this is a dangerous Pokemon to deal with, and we can roar it right out and start giving us opportunities to clear the sweeper and go from there. We are defense boosting nature with minus special attack, 116 special defense. We can take hits. Let's see how well we can take hits, shall we? Let's just for the sake of posterity, let's make it the oh. Well, I just messed up that set. Give me 1 second. I have it on my other computer. I just for the sake of importing it, I don't want to have to deal with that issue. So 242, 140 plus minus 116 with Heavy Slam, Earthquake, Stealth Rock, and Roar. Okay, and we are level 50. So let's just import that into the calculator real quick, just to get an idea of what we can and what we cannot live from a Dragonite. Okay, so Aggron, obviously, as we said, can just do massive damage to a Florges. Yeah, 100 to 117, guaranteed max HP, max defense. So Dragonite, because this thing is terrifying, obviously. Okay, so level 50 plus 1. Tectonic Rage 64 to 76%. Plus 1 Tectonic Rage does that. Supersonic Sky Strike, nothing. Dragon Claw, we resist, nothing. That's why this is so dangerous. We can live, it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO from a +3 Mega Gyarados Earthquake. It's unreal how bulky this thing is. This is our check to his team, to his setup. And lastly, we add our Rotom Fan. So it looks like a weird set, and it is. It is a weird set. But it's 252 HP, 132 defense, 12 speed EVs, 4 special defense, and 108 special attack. The purpose of this set is to get a ton of damage onto Venusaur. Basically, I felt that going full defense really wasn't that important for this set. So we go 108. What was the nature? It is bold. Okay. So versus a Venusaur in the sun, obviously 65 to 77. I think it was if it was max HP, right? Yeah, max HP. Mega Venusaur with Black Sludge. guaranteed 2-hit KO. That's the theory behind the special attack. The HP and the defense is just so he can live hits better, and the 12 speed is so he can speed creep. That's really it. It's just enough because we're obviously not a fast Pokemon. If he wants to come in with something like a Clay Doll against us or something that doesn't have any speed investment, we at least will creep a little bit. It's not meant to do too much. But you know, it was worth it. Pain Split, Air Slash, Electro Web, and Will-O-Wisp. So Will-O-Wisp obviously is really good for the Mega Gyarados. It's great for the Chinchino. It's great for the Jirachi, which could be a Cleric. I mean, the Florges will be, most likely. But Air Slash does a ton to Mega Venusaur, as we just established. Electro Web is for the speed. That's the big one. So if he starts setting up on us, we can neutralize the speed, and even if he takes us out, we can switch into something that will be as fast, if not faster, depending on the Pokemon and depending on the situation based on how we whittled it down. That's really the goal here. As for the Pain Split and Leftovers, this is our only Mon with actual recovery this week, but I feel really confident in it, and I'm excited to see what Rotom Fan can do in his team debut. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think about this team in the comment section below. I'm Moonlightswami, and this battle will be going up tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, and I'll be talking to you guys later. Peace!